There's a large barge digging a hole in the Fort Pierce Inlet. Find out how it's going to benefit St. Lucie County residents next on Inside St. Lucie. Hello and welcome to Inside St. Lucie, SLC TV's monthly government affairs show. I'm your host, Eric Gill, Communications Division Director for St. Lucie County. And on today's show, we're going to talk about beaches and erosion. My guests today are St. Lucie County's Senior Coastal Engineer, Josh Revord, and St. Lucie County Commissioner and Erosion District Chair, Franny Hutchinson. But before we meet our guests, here's some upcoming events and announcements from the Board of County Commissioners. St. Lucie County offices will be closed on Thursday, December 23rd and Friday, December 24th in observance of Christmas. However, St. Lucie County libraries will be closed Friday, December 24th and Saturday, December 25th. County offices will also be closed on Friday, January 31st, with the exception of the libraries, which will be closed on Saturday, January 1st for New Year's Day. For the latest updates about all St. Lucie County Commission meetings, workshops, and events, be sure to visit our website at stlucieco.gov and click on our comprehensive calendar. And if you'd like to be added to our press release distribution list, send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. We'll be happy to include you. We also hope you'll follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at St. Lucie Gov. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest economic development stats with another edition of St. Lucie Works. For the sixth consecutive month, St. Lucie County's tourism numbers showed a huge improvement, with September's bed tax revenue increasing by 73% compared to last year, and a 102% increase over 2019, setting another historic collection record. The tourism office finished the fiscal year generating $4.7 million in bed tax collection, a 34% increase over 2020, and a 15% increase over 2019. Overall building activity in unincorporated St. Lucie County dropped slightly in September, with 1,083 permits submitted compared to August's 1,272 permits. For the fiscal year, building activity was well above the targeted goals in revenue and submissions. The housing market isn't cooling off this fall. According to the Florida Realtors Association, the median home sale price in September was $357,579, up 28% from last year, while condo values rose by 20%, with the median price at $247,000. St. Lucie County's unemployment rate dropped again in September to 4.6%. Statewide, the unemployment rate was 4.3%. The largest increase in the labor force on the Treasure Coast was in professional services, with 3,500 new jobs, followed by leisure and hospitality with 2,700 new jobs, and construction and trades with 1,800 new jobs. The biggest decrease in the workforce was in the government sector. If you work for a local business looking for skilled or trained labor, be sure to contact the staff at CareerSource as they can assist your company with its recruitment and training needs. And if you're an individual looking for a job, they can help you as well. Visit CareerSource online at careersourcerc.com or call 1-866-4U2-HIRE. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by St. Lucie County Commissioner and Erosion Chair District, Franny Hutchinson, and Josh Revord, our Senior Coastal Engineer, also known as Aquaman. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, well, I thought we'd start with what's the biggest obvious thing with erosion is folks may see at the Fort Pierce Inlet, there's a big barge digging up sand. Tell us, Josh, what's that all about?
Yes, Eric. So this has been a long time coming. The Erosion District, my predecessor, Richard Bouchard, put into motion what we call a sand trap. We're one of the only inlets within the east coast of Florida that doesn't have an operational one. And that inlet sand trap will allow for us to catch sand in the future. So to lay it out, basically what we're doing is creating a bowl. And as sands make their way into the inlet, instead of depositing in the ICW or getting jetted offshore, we're hoping to trap them. And when we trap them, those sands can then be put to South Beach, just at Jetty Park, where we typically nourish, and that will allow us to shave cost over time. So it's really a beneficial use operation. We're hoping that this trap will give us the ability to supplement the already ongoing beach operations at that beach.
And Commissioner, I know this is something you're excited about, because I know even when the kids
very
go to the beach, you make them empty the shoes right there on the beach to put that sand back.
You've heard about that already.
Yeah.
No, I don't make them.
Yeah.
I just suggest put it back where you got it
Sure.
from. Yes, it's been a long time coming, and as Josh mentioned, it was many, many years ago, this stuff, and to go through all the permitting and the exploratory modeling and so forth that everybody had to do, and then get the okays. It was a long and tedious process.
And that's one thing to reassure folks at home watching. You know, we just didn't go out last week and decide we're going to dig a big hole.
Yeah.
Studies
Yeah.
were done.
It's been 15 years in the making.
Yeah.
And one thing that we did that was specific because this is a new operation is we phased it. So we phased it by putting in an initial phase, which is going to be 60,000 yards, the one that we're currently creating. And if it's proven successful over time, we'll be able to come back to the state and to the feds and say, look, we can expand this, we can catch more sand, and then we can save more money in the future. So we're really doing this in a diligent way to do it in a phased approach so that we don't have adverse effects happening, but we also prove the concept before we move forward with the full scale.
Yeah, because like you said too, it's we're going to make sure it's beach. There's a lot of permits involved in this.
Right.
It's not going to be just we're going to pull whatever muck is in that pit and throw it on the beach. Right?
No, right
Yeah.
now, just so you know, Eric and everyone watching,
Yeah.
what we're going to do is this material is harder material. It's not beach compatible. The turtles
Right
won't
now,
like it. And so this material is being excavated. It's going to be put on a barge. It's going to be toted offshore into a permitted dredge disposal area in federal waters, and it's going to be released there. Once this system's been completed, the thought would be that the sands that come in are those beach quality sands that come through the North Jetty that fall into this trap. And so at that point, we'll do what's called a sucker dredge, and we'll hydraulically dredge that material, suck it on, put it through a pipe onto the beach down south.
Yeah, and this will save the county a lot of money in the long run. As Josh mentioned, every couple of years we end up putting
Well,
sand.
we'd like to try to do every 2 years
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a goal, but of course the cost to that, and having our partners with the Army Corps along with the state come to the table, it doesn't quite happen as often as it needs to be done.
Sure.
So, and then in the meantime, we've had to do truck hauls in the past, which are quite expensive. And
Let me
so-
focus on that,
okay.
because this is one big part of my operation here is, we take for granted that the Army Corps is going to be there with sand and money. And when it doesn't happen, we're left to our own devices. So case in point, in 2020, we were supposed to have a nourishment. The Army Corps wasn't there with the funding, so we had to do a stopgap measure. And that measure was an upland truck haul. So we had to truck material from west of town, and to put 80,000 yards down to nourish the beach for that summer cycle to protect from the hurricanes cost around $2.5 million. When this trap is operational, we should be able to at least cut that in half.
Yeah.
So it'll be there in close proximity and will help us generate those sands that we need to get through those stopgap areas.
And it ultimately helps not just save money, but the residents and visitors that go to South Beach don't have to worry about all those dump trucks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the wear and tear on the road.
And the city of Fort Pierce gets upset, rightfully so, because it has to come through, those trucks have to come through their downtown area in
And
many
the two
cases where they're
roundabouts
coming
and-
about.
Exactly. So
So
it's a
it's-
win-win.
Yeah.
For everybody if this works.
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
a good sign it will.
Awesome.
So-
Yeah. And so, how long will that barge be in the navigation? And it's not going to impact navigation. They
No.
brought a mega yacht in at Director
Yeah.
this week and
Yes.
got right past it.
I was out
So-
there when they brought it in, it's all
Yeah.
going right on past.
So the actual basin is situated north of the navigation channel between the North Jetty and the channel. So no impacts to navigation. The Coast Guard's been notified, a notice to mariners has been put out, and the Sheriff's Office has been made aware. Moving forward, at the production rate that they're anticipating, about 1,000 yards a day, it should be about 2 to 3 months. So of course weather's a big factor. If the weather conditions are deteriorating, they kind of stop, they wait and hold out. So safety is the biggest priority. And so they're going to work at their own pace. They have plenty of time to do it. And frankly, if they get it done and it's done right, I don't really care how long it takes.
Yeah, sure, exactly. And we don't want a situation a few years ago. Remember when they were bringing the tugboat in that sunk in the inlet and
yeah.
shut the inlet down for a few
A
weeks
long
or a
time,
month or two?
yeah.
Yeah, it was a while. But yeah, so obviously, like you said, weather's going to
Safety is the biggest concern.
Yeah.
Right, and of course this weekend, if you're trying to go out there to see it, it probably won't happen with the weather predictions going on
Yeah.
right now. But if you haven't been out
You got
there,
now
it's a
till
sight
March.
to be seen.
It is, yeah.
I was out there, fortunately enough, with Josh and the Marine Patrol with the Sheriff's Department this week, and it was amazing all the people that were talking about it, sitting there watching, and were coming up
Yeah.
without even signs on us telling anybody who we were. They were asking, "Do you know what's going on?"
Yeah. Well, the first thing that anybody says is, "Oh, they're judging the channel,"
Yeah.
and no, we're doing a little bit more. We're trying to keep the channel from being had sediment coming into that channel, so
Sure.
we're trying to intercept it.
And that's one thing too. I know you mentioned Richard. I remember he would always come on and talk about why we have to renourish South Beach. And we never really renourished North Beach, but sand moves north to south.
Yeah.
And that navigation, that channel, the inlet, breaks up that flow.
Yeah, let me talk about it, because this is one of the biggest misconceptions. You know, a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, you're placing that sand there and it's going to be lost and it's just a waste of money. But a few things they don't understand is that the prevailing wind and waves in our neck of the woods promote sand moving to the south. So if you're out there at the jetty and you look north, North Jetty is just full of sand. Tons of sand, so much so that it comes around and gets into our navigation channel. Well, the issue is that sand wasn't allowed to make its way to the south. The inlet impacts that. If you want to have a functioning inlet, this is just a prerequisite. It's doing the maintenance needed to keep the coastal system intact. If you don't place the sand there, then it erodes over time, and those erosional efforts continue to propagate to the south. So it's something that the state requires the county do. We're taking the initiative to do the sand trap to help that process of bypassing, and over time we're hoping to implement structures there to make it more viable and more cost effective. And for the long term, it's about the residents, it's about people enjoying the beach, and it's also about storm protection.
Yeah.
And you need to elaborate, Josh, just a little bit more going along those lines, is that, as you mentioned it earlier, we're one of the very last ones to come on board on doing this across our coastline.
And there's good reason. There's good reason. The reason why we're one of the last is because our inlet is very exceptional. Typically what happens in an inlet system is that when sand is caught into the inlet, it's jetted offshore in what they call an ebb shoal, and it usually accumulates. And so in the past, people have seen these accumulations and said, hey, that's a great spot to put a sand trap because all the sand naturally goes there. Well, Fort Pierce is kind of an anomaly where we don't have that signature. We actually have a deflating ebb shoal, meaning that sand is being moved somewhere outside of the coastal system. So when they tried to site this, they had to go through extensive modeling. We did sand tracers to find out where sand were moving, and it's been a long process, but that's the reason why. It was very hard to site because we just didn't have the signatures we needed to confidently move forward. So it took that extra legwork.
Yeah.
And not only that, the other places that have had it, like mostly your southern inlets, they've all shown it is a cost effective
It's
method
the
of
primary
using.
way that people manage their beaches on the east coast of Florida.
And you mentioned cost. You hear a lot of residents say, wow, they're just throwing, it's just
Yeah, I've
benefiting the
heard
people
it.
that live on the beaches. But yeah, I know you've heard it
Yeah.
too. But this tourism's numbers this year was 4.7 million in bed tax revenues, and they set record numbers this year. And
And that's with the half a year being pandemic.
Well, half the year with the pandemic, and I know Charlotte's done our tourism director has done some studies. One of the top 3 reasons people come here is our beaches. 21 miles of coastline. So there's there's obviously benefits for the residents, but
There are benefits all the way down the line, whether it's from an economic with the tourism dollars, businesses wanting to locate. Everybody wants to go have a meal out there sitting by the ocean, but it's also the storm protection. And it's not just for the residents that are sitting on the beach side that are fortunate enough to be there, but it's our roadways, it's the infrastructure that comes into play. It's an emergency in and out off the islands for emergencies. So there is a huge responsibility that's a benefit to the entire community.
and ultimately the wildlife. Let's not forget, we are a popular nesting ground for 3 threatened and endangered sea
Yes.
turtles. And the last 3 years, our numbers have been up.
They've continued to go up. And to emphasize the actual use of that sand, when we place it south of the inlet, although it does move, it moves to the south. So as we move down that next 8 to 10 miles of St. Lucie County shoreline, we have no erosional issues because those beach sands are flowing that way, nourishing those beaches, and they're there for the wildlife as well. So storm protection, wildlife for almost the entire stretch to the Martin County line is being feeded by that specific beach.
And you look at it's good because we just flew the drone recently at John Brooks, and that beach is so beautiful this time of year.
It's so big.
And you talk about further down south, and another beach project we've got is the South Hutchinson Island, south of the nuclear
Yes.
power plant.
Yes.
That's another thing that we've had to get. So I say we. It's really been Josh and you and
Well, Richard, I would say Richard had a lot
Well, it
to
was
do
like
with
20 years in the
Yeah, yeah.
making there.
You know,
on
that
one.
project is a federal beach project. It's similar to our Fort Pierce project. It took about 15 and plus years to accomplish, but it started with a feasibility study. It had to be justified economically for the Corps to spend money, and we went through that process, eventually getting congressional approval for the project. A lot of state funds came in for the project, a lot of federal funds, and the community down there is very excited because in the past, when we've had those hurricane events, that line in the sand has been so close to those condominiums. And this area, don't forget, is a main corridor for hurricane evacuation. It's a main corridor to the FPL plant. So this is an area that we want to protect and preserve. And so this new project, just like our Fort Pierce project, is going to be a 50-year project. It's a way for not only the feds and the state, but the county to collectively come together and to identify what's needed and address the issues before they become a reality.
And when we say the county, it means the residents that live there are also helping to pay some of the bill, which a lot of people don't understand that. It's not coming out of the erosion millage rate, it's coming out of a combination of
I would
different
say,
funds.
though, that the county did many,
Yes.
many things to
Yes,
get
they
to that
did.
point.
Yes, we did.
You know, 20 years of legwork on part of the erosion district with Franny as chair.
Well, they're paying for all the studies and so forth.
All the studies
permits
and
that
then
had to
all
be
the
done.
advocacy, not only from the federal side but the state side, to collect those dollars to implement the project. So it's been a team effort. They've been a great teammate moving this project forward, and we're looking for construction in March of next year.
March of next year, okay.
Yes.
Really, in the beginning of sea turtle season?
So what we have, yeah, so, you know, March 1st usually comes around and I get those
That's
questions a lot. What happens in our beach projects is we're given a little bit more leeway, but we have extra things to do. So we
Sure.
have a certified turtle operation, and what they do is if they work between that March and April 30th timeline, they have to daily sweep the beach in advance of the project. Any nesting turtles, they relocate the nest outside the project area. It's because the reality is that time frame is very short.
It's early, yeah.
And
it's
so there's
early
so
in sea
much
turtle.
going on that, you know, if we do the right things and we implement these measures, we're able to extend that a little farther based on our permits.
Sure. And you all did some great legwork, and I remember helping out with some AV presentations for the
Yeah.
South Hutchinson Island condos, because part of the benefits of that was trying to get those partners would join us.
Right.
And
The
if
easements.
The easements, exactly. If we
Yes.
created some additional public access to those beaches, then it lowered the cost the counties had to upfront and ultimately.
And those were requirements in order for the
feds.
federal government, and they had requirements that had to be met. And one of the ones was beach
Perpetual
access.
easements.
Yeah.
And then
And those
easements.
easements are on the backside of those condominiums. They're in that area of space where they're in the private, but they're going to be materials going to be placed in those areas. So the Corps has to justify using those funds to place on private property. So those perpetual easements, we had to petition all those residents, and luckily, because of the need, we didn't have as much pushback as we thought.
Yeah.
We did have one specific individual that has held out, and we were able to negotiate with the Corps to work around that individual. But ultimately, we're looking to get all of them so that we can lay to rest that perpetual easement issue for the next 50 years and be ready at a moment's notice to implement the project without having to do more legal things every time we get out there to do
Right.
something on the beach.
Sure. And in the South Beach, when I say South Beach, it's south of the nuclear
South of
power
the
plant.
island.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be renourished as often as the Fort Pierce Beach right there at the
No,
jetty.
no. I think it's only, they're looking at what, 2 or 3
So
times
over
Yeah.
the
that
30
50.
years,
Yeah.
of course, that doesn't account for emergencies.
Storms, king
And so,
tides.
but this is the benefit of the federal program. The benefit is that you don't have to wade through the FEMA world. FEMA can be very complicated and take a very long time. When you're in queue as a federal project, you're kind of earmarked for those supplemental plans that come down through Congress. And so what they do is they provide money if there's a declared storm event, and Congress can load that up with funds for beach shore protection projects. And if you're lucky enough that they do, those can help replace those sands that are lost. So it's almost an insurance policy. It's on top of the oversight that we're doing, but it's a good perk to be part of that program because you have one more person looking after how your beach is doing.
Right. And the other thing is mentioned earlier, you know, those sands, they flow south. So that section of South Beach won't need, hopefully, as often as what everybody attributes to the inlet, because
Because
those
it's getting-
sands are going to flow down that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So the important part is, so long as we can keep the jetty part of the erosion
Nourished,
district
yes.
nourished on a consistent basis, i.e. the sand trap, and making sure that the feds stay at the table with us in regards to a more timely application.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
of
our
sand.
challenge. Our challenge
Sure.
is to always cooperate with feds and the state to make sure those funding pots are there when we need them.
Yeah.
And when they're not, it creates some issues, and we have to roll with it and do our best. And clearly the sand trap's the reason why we're trying to shave those.
It's a great
things.
program.
Yeah.
And this summer, well, I think it was the first summer in probably at least 3 or 4 years where we didn't have to activate for a potential storm. I know, we got some time.
I know.
But you know, and then, so that you never know, you could have 5 years in a row where even if we don't get a direct hit, something like Superstorm Sandy, it ate up a lot of.
Yeah, so I was going to say sometimes it's, and that's the other part about if it's a FEMA program, it's got to be a declared storm. And when we get a lot of those northeasterns and so forth, there's no funding
We weren't declared
mechanisms.
for Superstorm
No.
Sandy, but I think mosquito control
Yes.
had $2 or $3 million worth
Yeah,
of damage
damage.
in the impoundment areas because of the high tides and the
Right.
winds. And so, and is that something, Josh, you as a coastal engineer, you work with planning and GIS, you know, you hear a lot about sea level rise and king tides are certainly, we see the sea levels higher than they've been.
Yes.
Is that something you guys are modeling and looking
So,
at?
so beach projects are a little exceptional in that because they're more frequent than most other operations like, you know, infrastructure.
Sure.
We can accommodate for those specific instances. So every time we do a design, we always reflect on what happened in the past, and we know the projection of how long this project's supposed to last. One of the good things that the beach has for it is that we have a largely uninterrupted dune system. And the state and the locals, us as the county, try to preserve that dune system so that if we do need to elevate, we can. So I think what you're going to find over time is that the beachfront, because of the efforts that we've done, we've been able to scale those up to accommodate whatever sea level rise has been occurring. The back bay issues are the harder to deal with because people are right on the water, there's mangrove forests. So we keep an eye on it, and we're always talking about it in our sphere. I think ERD here at the county has been working extensively to do some resiliency items and topical assessments to find out what direction the county needs to take in the future to start preempting those mitigation efforts to combat whatever's going to happen.
And I'll say what he didn't say. Really and truly, our beaches are our first line of defense and
Yes.
resiliency. They really and truly are. Because if it can overcome the beaches, if they're not kept nourished, if they're not kept taken care of and watched over, then everybody inside is going
Amen.
to get flooded.
Amen.
So, like I said, it is
But
clear
that's
that
the thing is most people, because we've done so good with nourishing our beaches, they kind of discredit them. But the
Right.
reality is that's the highest part of the island, and if the highest part of the island falls, there's no use in dealing with the back bay.
I remember in 2004, there's that stretch of Hudson on the Narrows
Yeah,
there, and I
when the
thought we're going to have a new
hurricanes came
inlet.
through.
You know, it's
oh, and there was talk about it.
yes, it came.
It was going to
close.
come.
Yeah.
It was happening.
Yeah,
Because it was after that we started having the Lake of discharges were coming down the St. Lucie, and yeah, there was a lot of talk, and I think Richard was also part of that discussion
Yes.
back then of maybe now's the time if it's going to open up,
Yeah,
you know. So thankfully it didn't happen.
it didn't. Yeah,
I would hate
But-
to deal with 2 inlets in this county. One's
yeah,
enough.
I already have enough to do.
Let's get two coastal engineering.
Yeah.
Anything else about the project, or you want to let residents know about beach erosion or just the beaches in general?
You know, the one thing I want everybody to remember is that the beaches are here for a variety of reasons. And being a coastal community and having the tourism is essential for our community. I think one thing I want to emphasize is that we all seen COVID come through our neighborhood and what beaches, the impact to beaches. I mean, we had many times where people were influxing from South Florida to use our beach. And there's a reason people do that, because this is a place where they escape. So it's about storm protection, it's about the environment, but it's also about people's well-being. And I drove out there yesterday, and perfect day, and on the beach, and I seen hundreds of people using the beach, and they're in their space. They're doing the thing that they love, and that's part of the community. That's part of St. Lucie's community, and we can't neglect them, because if we do, those people will find somewhere else to reside.
And I know Mr. Tipton said, you know, you guys had that tough choice. Remember, in the height of the pandemic, do we keep beaches open 4th of July
Yep.
weekend, and we closed them? But he said, I'll never do that. I'll never recommend that again. But I understood that because we would have been
only right. We would have been
furthest
the
south
only
beach
one,
open.
and word was already on the streets
Yeah.
amongst the different counties that everyone was going to know if we stayed open.
So we
they
didn't
would
want
end
all
up
of South
here.
Florida coming and
Right.
converging on our 21 miles of
And
coastline.
But
it was a hard
testament
choice.
to what beaches are
Yeah.
for people that reside here. You know, they're
people
there
were
for people.
home locked,
Yeah.
and they wanted out,
Yeah.
and I don't blame them.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, I would have made the drive if I was down south. Like,
There's a lot of
so
people
you
that
can't
did.
say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And we've learned a lot since the beginning of
Yeah.
the pandemic. You know, it was new to all of us that we weren't here and there in the Spanish flu, but except Dan. Dan McIntyre
Dan
was
might
the
have
other
been,
one.
yeah.
Well, is there
no,
anything else you want to mention,
Josh,
Commissioner?
do you happen to know when our next renourishment is for the
So,
jetty?
in a perfect world, we would
Yeah.
try to do it between that 22-23 spread. So
Right.
it would be late next year into early next the following year. Fingers are crossed if
Yeah.
we get the funding. If we don't, you know, we're always prepared. The erosion district has contracts with vendors and with construction companies to address anything in a matter of days. So that's one thing that we do have under our sleeve, but we hope not to use it. We hope that our partners come to the table. We can continue to mitigate for the impacts of the inlet, which not only keeps Fort Pierce Beach going, but all those other beaches along our shoreline.
Yeah. Commissioner, anything else you want to mention before we wrap up
No,
the show?
just thank you to Josh for all of his hard work and carrying on some of Richard's projects and making them his own now, and along with all the community
Yeah.
for all their support. It's a hard problem, if you will, to understand and really grasp, and
Sure.
I will not claim to be the expert of it, but I can tell you I've never learned so much more about beach sand and the signs of the granules, and I could actually yesterday spot and going, oh, that's not beach quality, there's huge rocks in it, you can't, it's a different color, you know, the whole 9 yards.
You
So,
have led the erosion district for a while now, and for those that don't know, the erosion district is essentially the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
But you know, you don't get to vote on that separately, but you have kind of taken the lead, and I know the board's always, the rest of the commissioners have always looked to you for your
Well, thank
leadership
you.
because you,
Thank
you
you.
know, are the most knowledgeable up there on the dais about this. So we appreciate all you've done in
Thank you.
Washington and Tallahassee for us. So
as I said yesterday, you can't do it without a team.
that's true.
So thank you.
Well, thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you, Eric.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Inside St. Lucie, and we hope you'll tune in again next month. If you have topics or subjects you'd like to see covered here on the program relating to St. Lucie County government, give us a call at 772-462-1791 or send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. If you'd like to see previously aired episodes of this or other SLC TV programs, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/stluciegov. For myself and the staff, I'm Eric Gill. Thanks for watching.